because we're going to be intentional about our growing, okay?
Hello, everyone. My name is Amaria, and welcome to Build Your Faith podcast. This was specifically curated to let us be open and real about faith, get encouragement, and to help us grow in our relationship with God and community with others who are on the same journey as us. Listen, if faith is like a muscle, welcome to your gym. So, what I need you to do is to grab your pen and your paper because you won't want to miss anything being said over here because this is to help you build your faith. Are you ready? Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to Build Your Faith. I'm super glad that you decided to tune into today's episode. And so my name is Amaria, and let's just jump right in. I know it's been a minute that I haven't done a one-on-one episode. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I've missed it. So we're gonna continue to do these little one-on-ones. If you're watching on YouTube, it's gonna be me and you. And if you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, I'm gonna be in your ear a lot. So get used to it. But I've really missed it, and I'm happy to restart with this topic. So we're gonna talk about the fear of rejection, okay? And this is because I wanted to share with y'all something that I tend to do that I hope that you do as well. And if you don't, I think that you should apply it to your new day-to-day routine. I'm just someone who's very self-analytic. I'm someone who just loves to sit in the presence of God and just allow God to really show things to me, especially about myself, especially about my character, or like just things that I'm doing. I just have those conversations with God, and I ask him to show parts of me that maybe it's not pleasing to him. Maybe he doesn't like, maybe he wants to change, maybe he wants to shift me, maybe he wants me to modify. And so I'm someone, I really like to sit down with God and do that. And it's been helping me immensely realize certain things that I didn't even know I had a problem with, or I had, or whatever. And with that being said, last week, in my last week session with God and with Jesus and in the Holy Spirit, God just showed me something that honestly dragged me by my edges. I was really taken aback by what God revealed to me in that moment. And it is the fact that I do have a problem with rejection. I have a fear of rejection. And Holy Spirit comforted me a little bit by saying, honestly, it's something that I'm not the only one who faces. I'm not the only one who has a problem with, having the fear of rejection. And so, honestly, guys, I'm a people pleaser. I'm going to put it out there. I'm a people pleaser. It is something that I'm working on because I understand how horrible it's not good to be a people pleaser, but I am one. And I'm someone who really likes to be liked by people. And honestly, I'm going to keep it a buck. If someone says they don't like me, I'm the type of person to be like, oh my gosh, really? How? Why? What can I do to change your mind? I'm that type of person. And guys, it's so bad. It is so bad. If you're a people pleaser, it is so bad. Because the thing is, with being a people pleaser, you have problems with setting up boundaries, because you feel like the boundaries that you will set to protect yourself is going to drive people away from you. It's going to make people not want to be your friend. And so a lot of times people pleasers have problems setting up boundaries, but boundaries are necessary, because if you don't have boundaries, people are just going to walk all over you. People are just going to take advantage of you. People are just going to listen, nice people attract mean people and people that literally, they see that you're being nice, they see that you're a people pleaser, or you just like doing things for people, and they take it as an opportunity to take advantage of. And so that is why boundaries are necessary. But this is not about boundaries, because I feel like that's a completely different episode. Trust me, I'll get into that, because there's so much God has been revealing to me about boundaries in itself. But let's focus on rejection and people pleasing. So the people pleasing in the fear of rejection comes in when we fear rejection because we want to be liked by people so bad that if they reject us, it's like, oh my gosh, they don't like me. It's like the end of the world type of thing. So we would rather do things to keep them in our lives, or do things so that we don't be rejected by those people. And it's so bad because, listen, first of all, when we people please, that means that we're putting other people's opinions We're putting their validation and approval at the highest heights, like number one priority, top priority of our list. And anything else comes underneath, comes below. The problem in that is that if we are a people pleaser, if we would rather live for people first, where does that leave God? Right on the list. That means that God is automatically right underneath. Whether it's second place, third place, fourth place, whatever place it is, the fact that it's underneath something is already a problem. And that is idolatry. That is us idolizing people's opinions, validation, approval, all of that. We idolize people over God. And listen, God is a jealous God, and he will have no other gods before him. So that is an issue for God. We don't see it like that, but listen, it is. And so that's why I believe God has a problem with people who people please, or with people pleasing, because he's like, you would rather search and seek to please and to get approval from other people other than me, above me. You see? And so it's very problematic. And so we got to be careful when we're operating with that mentality, right? Another thing about people pleasing and the fear of rejection that is bad is that when we fear rejection, that means that we are going to do anything to make sure that we get to keep those people in our lives. Because again, you fear rejection. You fear those people saying you're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not smart enough. You're not brave enough. You don't fit the criteria of what it means to be my friend, or be in my circle, or be in my life, or be in this space, right? And so we fear that so much that we tend to transform ourselves into someone else, into someone we're not, for the sake of not being rejected, for the sake of pleasing the people that we hope doesn't reject us, right? And so we want to please them by transforming ourselves into what they want, right? And so they may not outright ask you to change who you are, but our mentality and our perception is that we need to do that because we're people pleasing. We need to do that so that we don't get rejected. That's a problem, because that prevents us to not be our true, authentic selves. It prevents us from not being who God has called us to be. Yeah. And when we do that, we're basically stripping away parts of ourselves to please man, to please mankind, to please human beings, when really we should just be pleasing God, right? But when we strip ourselves away to please human beings, we're basically telling God, the way you've created me with these characteristics, with these qualities, it's not good enough. It's not working. You made a mistake, God. That you see where the problem lies? We human beings are telling us, the creation is telling God, the creator, that he made a mistake with us. You see how crazy that is? But we do it every day. We do it through our people pleasing. We do it when we fear rejection, because we would rather transform ourselves into something that another human being will like, but God doesn't like. God doesn't like the fact that you're changing yourself like this. God doesn't like that you're dimming your light. God doesn't like that you're, belittling yourself for the sake of other people, right? God doesn't like that. And so when we seek other people's validation and approval, we seek it above God's. So we're seeking to please other people, but in the meantime, we're not pleasing God. We're actually making him mad. We're actually making him shake his head and be like, oh my gosh, you're changing yourself into someone I didn't approve of. I didn't approve of this version of you. I don't like this version of you. This version of you doesn't take the time to pray. This version of you doesn't take the time to worship. This version of you doesn't even take the time to have a relationship with me, because you're too busy trying to have a relationship with other people. That's the problem with people pleasing and having the fear of rejection, is that we would rather take this time, waste our time, honestly, transforming and building ourselves up into being people that God has never called us to be, people that God doesn't approve of, a version of ourselves that God is like, this is not it. It's counterfeit. It's fake. This is not real. This is not who you are. You're being fake. You're not being who you are. And so, yeah, like that's so horrible. And we do it a lot. Guilty as charged, but we do it a lot. And so we would rather be fake for other people, And it's so crazy, because honestly, You could do all of that. You could change how you think. You could change what you like. You could change the qualities about yourself, all that stuff, only to be still rejected in the end. So it's like you do all of that work, waste all of that time for what? For what? Listen, honestly, I'm coming to a place where I would rather be my true, authentic self, be who God has called me to be. And if people like it, they like it. And if they don't, they don't. If they want to reject me, they reject me. If they don't, they don't. Whatever. But yes, first of all, I want to say, yes, rejection may hurt. Okay. Yes, rejection. I want to say this. Rejection is inevitable. It will happen. I don't know if you think that, if you transform yourself or change yourself in any way, shape, or form, that you're just going to never face rejection in your life. If that's been your mindset, I think you need to change your mindset right now, because that's not the reality of things. Rejection is inevitable. It will happen at some point in life, whether it's through your career, whether it's through you applying for a school, whether it's you applying for scholarships, whatever or wherever it may be, rejection will come about. Okay. But the question is, what is going to be your reaction to the rejection? Okay. Because I get it. It hurts. It's almost like a slap in the face, but you need to realize, okay, they didn't like me. They didn't accept me. They don't think that I fit the criteria, the part, whatever. Okay, cool. I'm going to pick myself off, dust myself off, and keep it pushing. Because eventually I'll find a space that will approve of me, that will accept me for who I am. And I wouldn't have to change or transform myself for them, So that's how we have to have. But instead, we transform ourselves and all that stuff for other people that are just going to reject us anyways. Sometimes let me tell you something. Sometimes people will approve of you for a period of time and then reject you after. Listen, that's mankind. That's human beings. Like, we're so fickle. One day, you think you're safe until you realize I'm not safe. So you did all that transforming, all that changing for what? But people tend to do that because they want to take advantage of you. They realize, okay, if he or she is gonna do all that transforming for me, that means I could milk this a little bit. I could prolong this a little bit. I can make them do whatever it is that I want them to do, because they value my opinion so much. They value my time and my space and my company so much. Then I'm gonna let them do whatever I want them to do. And then when I'm done with them, they could go. And people, listen, human beings will do that to you. But we cannot allow people to walk all over us like that. We cannot allow people to manipulate us like that, or benefit or take advantage of us like that, because in the end, that rejection is going to hurt even more than just being rejected in the beginning for you being you. Because the thing is, you gave up so much of yourself, and so much time and so much effort went into you transforming yourself into someone else will like, only to be rejected again, or even more harshly. It's going to hurt you. And that's where people break. That's where people get broken down, hurt like crazy, because it's like, wow, I did all of this and still you don't like me. Listen, it's going to leave a void in you trying to be like someone else that you're not. It's going to leave this emptiness inside of you like never before. You might be approved, like I said, for a moment. You might be approved, but you're going to be so uncomfortable. Okay? It's like putting on a shoe that is like too small for you, and it's like you're walking and it's squeezing your foot. So like the shoe is not your size, but yet you're forcing it. It's the same thing we tend to do when we try to be someone else that we're not. We are forcing these things to work out for the sake of pleasing other people, and we're living our lives uncomfortably because this is not who we are. And so God is letting us know that we need to not fear rejection. If people want to reject you, then so what? But I would rather be, fine, rejected by you, but living a comfortable life because I'm was rejected for being me, and I'm living my life as me, instead of trying to be fake, being like someone else that I'm not, and just living a life that is super uncomfortable. For people that will drop you one day, like will accept you one day and drop you the next, like it's not worth it. We also need to trust in the blueprint that God has for our lives as well, because the thing is, like, if God made you this certain way, it's for a reason, okay? And you changing it, I wonder if you're going to still fulfill the purpose and plan that God has in store for you if you change yourself. Because maybe he made you with those qualities for a reason. But if you remove those qualities or try to change those qualities, maybe you're not going to be able to fulfill the plan that God has in store for you, because to fulfill it, you need those qualities in the first place, right? So all of these things we need to keep in mind. Like, it's really no use to be trying to please people. At the end of the day, people are just people. They're not God. And if we're living a life that's not pleasing to God, that is the problem, you know. But yeah, also I wanted to say too, to that point, is that, like, listen, we just need to trust in the blueprint that he has for our lives. You know, we trust it when it sounds like a plan. Like, okay, you're supposed to go to school and get your education and get your career. Like, when it's something that sounds like that, it's like, okay, God, I trust you, whatever. But we also need to trust that God has created us like this for a reason. Okay, like, he's created you with all that stuff, those qualities, whatever, for a reason. And if someone doesn't accept it, that doesn't mean you're not good enough. It just means that they are not meant to be in your lives. I think a lot of times we're too afraid to lose people. Why are you afraid to lose someone? You know, I get it, because I've been there, done that, probably still there right now, still working on it myself. But we need to not be afraid to lose people, because one thing that I learned is that man's rejection is God's protection. If someone is not going to accept you for who you are, take that as a blessing. Maybe they were going to come in your life and just cause chaos. For all you know, God is all knowing. He's sovereign. He made the blueprint for your life, and so he knows, you know, who. The reason why someone is not meant to be in your life, and the reason why someone rejects you, the reason someone wants to walk out of your life. Like, he knows all that stuff. So we just need to allow those things to happen, because it's probably going to be best for us anyways. God knows what's best for us. We think we know what's best for us until we realize, man, like, I shouldn't have done that. And God is like, yup, because you should have listened to me. You should have allowed that person to leave when they wanted to leave, instead of you trying to compromise with them and change who you are. For what? For them to hurt you more and leave still in the end? It's not worth it. So we really, really get it. Just trust in the blueprint that God has for our lives. God made you this way. God made you this way for a reason. You are good enough. You are smart, brave. Just if you're loud, so what? If you are someone who's outspoken, like, it is what it is. As long as you're doing it in a godly manner, like, it is what it is. So we just gotta accept these parts of us. And sometimes, you know, we tend to dim our light for people to be comfortable around us. And I need you to understand, do not dim your light for anybody. Anybody who's truly your friend, truly wants to have a relationship with you, they are going to accept you to your fullest, in your fullest state. You know, they're going to accept you 100%. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that, they're going to accept you, because they understand that you are a prize. You are meant to be valued in their lives, right? But if they don't see you as someone to be valued, and they think that you need to dim your light, that's a red flag already. You need to run, because I'm not about to dim my light for nobody. No, ma'am. So if you feel like you need to dim your light when you meet certain people, I don't think you need to be around those people, because I just feel like they're never going to be happy for you. Those are the type of people that will never be happy for you. Those are the type of people that will see you win and not even be able to clap for you. They'll just, you know what I mean? They'll be hating on you, or discouraging you, or plotting against you when they see you win, because they think that for them to be comfortable, you need to not be who you are. You need to not be a light. You need to not be great, amazing, you know, and to win in the areas of your life where you will win. And so, yeah, that's really that. You need to see it like it's a protection God is doing for when people walk out of your life, when people reject you. And you need to not fear that. Remember this, God has not given you a spirit of fear. We need to walk confidently. When we come into a space, before when we're trying to know if we need to if we're going to be rejected or not, when we come into the space before knowing the answer, we need to walk in there boldly. And if we get accepted, great, amazing. But if we get rejected, we need to walk out confidently as well, knowing that, listen, it is okay. I'm gonna brush myself off and keep it pushing and walk out confidently, because at least I was me, you know. And so, yeah. That was a lot. I really hope that this is going to help a lot of people, because it's something that I realize, especially in this generation, we seek validation from so many people that do not matter. People just don't, it doesn't matter, you know, and just so we could fit in, just so we could be a part of the in crowd, just, you know, all of that stuff. But God is saying you are set apart. You are set apart. You're not supposed to be looking like the rest. And great people recognize other great people. And if people feel uncomfortable around you, listen, it's the door. It's the door. Walk out, leave. Or, you know, if they don't see your greatness, then hey, it is what it is. I'm going to surround myself with people that see my greatness. So yeah, guys, I hope this episode helped. I hope this helped you build your faith a little bit more. This is a great conversation. If you want to keep commenting your thoughts, your opinions, all that stuff in the comments below, in the chat or DM or whatever, build your faith, y'all know what to do. So yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and I hope you have a blessed and amazing week and continue to build your faith, guys. Bye.